It's the new year, and you know what that means? Resolutions that we are going to try our best not to give up on this time. And one of my resolutions is to be more consistent with my meal prep. Now, my biggest problem is sometimes I get so busy that I just forget to meal prep. In order to combat that, I am starting what I'm calling Meal Prep Mondays, where I show you what I made the night before on Sunday. There's often no recipes involved. It's just going off of vibes. So, maybe this will provide you some inspiration, but let's go ahead and get started for this week, shall we? So this whole process took me under 2.5 hours. I did only like a 45-minute marinade. So for the marinade for the chicken, we're using extra virgin olive oil, Dijon mustard, lemon juice, harissa seasoning, harissa paste. We're also using some garlic powder, salt, and just a tiny bit of honey. And we're just going to massage that all together all over the chicken. And we're going to put this in the fridge for 45 minutes. You could also use salmon, you could use chicken breast, you could use tofu, you could use shrimp, whatever you want. It's not that big a deal. To a bowl, we're going to add a can of Great Northern beans, 2 cans of black beans, and a can of garbanzo beans. And we are going to make sure those are rinsed beforehand, but then we're going to cover the beans with enough water just to make sure they're totally submerged. We're going to add about maybe a 1/4 cup of lemon juice and some salt, and we're just going to let that sit for about 20 minutes while we work on our lentils. For the lentils, I sprouted some lentils, basically just covered like a bag of lentils with like 4 cups of water and waited 30 minutes for them to sprout. This turns them into a complete protein, by the way, if that's something you're interested in. We're also going to put these in a pot with about 6 cups of water, some salt and lemon juice, and we're going to bring that to a boil and then reduce to simmer for about 15 to 20 minutes. Next, we're working on the overnight oats. Now, this is a super simple ratio. You use 1 part Greek yogurt, 1 part milk, and 1.5 parts oats. And basically, it's customizable. So I'm using, for 12 servings, I'm using 2 cups of Greek yogurt, 2 cups of milk. Again, you can use like a non-dairy milk, 3 cups of rolled oats, and then I'm going to use some honey. I'm using a little bit of peanut butter, some cinnamon. I'm also using just a little bit of maple syrup, but I'm using specifically rolled oats, which is the exact same thing as old-fashioned oats. The name is just different. So now you know. Where's that? The more you know. And then we're going to mix that together. And then I wanted to get rid of some extra chia seeds I had in the fridge. So we're just going to pop those in there as well, because those are also good for you. This is a peanut butter banana overnight oat. So of course we got to chop up 2 bananas. It doesn't matter how nice they look because it's going to be mush anyway. So we're just going to chop them up really, really rough. We're going to fold that into the overnight oat mixture. And then we are going to grab our little containers. Now it looks funky now, but trust it will set up in the fridge overnight. So I'm going to take the lids off of my containers, and then we're going to fill them with about 1/2 cup at a time. And then we are going to add a nice little drizzle of some extra peanut butter. And then we're going to top the oats. Well, we're going to top the peanut butter with the remaining oat mixture. I tried to make sure this was nice and even, but it's not going to be perfect. And then we're going to top that with some sliced banana, chill in the fridge, and you've got a really great, healthy, super easy and satiating breakfast to carry you through until lunch. So we're just going to put those in the fridge, clean up, and we'll move on to our bean salad. Now, bean salad is what we're going to have for lunch. I'm just going to top it with a little bit of the chicken that I prepped earlier. But for the bean salad, I just grabbed like 1.5 cucumbers. By the way, I'm prepping the exact same thing for dinner, but with lentils because I'm lazy. And if I can just get it done now, then I don't have to do it later. So you'll see me straining the lentils, put them in a really big bowl, and then I'm taking half a large container of tomatoes, and I'm just cutting them in half and putting half in the lentils and half in the beans. Again, we are not complicating things here. This is just what we're doing. I had 2 onions, relatively different sizes, so I did half of each into each different thing. So I realized maybe I should have just put 1 onion in one and 1 onion in another, but I had to go and overcomplicate it. So here we are. We're just gonna do a rough dice and put these, put them in there. And then I got 2 bunches of parsley. We're going to cut off the ends, bunch it up, and we're just going to do 1 bunch of parsley in each bowl. Again, bean salad and lentil salad. It doesn't get much easier. Also, so good for your gut. If you are working on introducing fiber, you might be in for an awakening. We're also going to add in some marinated artichoke hearts because I love these and these are delicious. I'm just gonna take, I didn't even measure. Like this is maybe half a cup? I don't even know. We're just gonna pop that into the bean salad and into the lentils, and then we're also going to add in some marinated mozzarella. And again, same thing to both. You'll see that I have just a big bowl of lentils and veggies, and this is a great way to do plant-based stuff. You could use vegan cheese if you wanted to, but alas, I really like my my dairy cheeses, so we're adding in a little bit of feta as well, and then I'm making a balsamic vinaigrette, so I'm taking some extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, some Dijon mustard as an emulsifier, a little bit of honey, and then some balsamic vinegar, and I'm going to whisk that together until it comes together and, you know, is just a nice dressing. I don't know how long I'm going to stay pouring this balsamic vinegar in here, but we're going to whisk that together with a fork, make sure there are no clumps of Dijon, and then we are going to pour that over. I debated just splitting this in half, but no, I like the sauce. So we're just going to mix that together. This is going to become dinner for the week because, like I said, when I have to do a large cooking video, like for Underdark Cellars, I don't want to have to worry about dinner. So this is just going to be what we do for dinner this week. So we're just going to massage this together, make sure that the vinaigrette is like nicely distributed through everything. And then the exact same thing with the beans. By the way, we had to put the chicken in the oven, so just put that in at 400, and then we're going to broil that the last 5 minutes of cooking. We're gonna see gently massage the bean salad together. I needed a bigger bowl. And then we're going to portion this out. So this made 10 servings. I did a half cup at a time. If you remove the air pockets, it comes out to about 1 cup or a cup and like a quarter cup per container. And then we're just going to, you know, look at that chicken. She's gorgeous. We're gonna slice it, and then we're going to you know, put it in the bowls. And this is meal prep. This is not complicated. It's delicious. Just make sure you remember it for work, because that has happened to me on more than one occasion where I put a whole bunch of effort into meal prepping and then I leave it at work. I leave it at home and then I have to sit there at work and you know. Look, you're making steps in the right direction if you are actively meal prepping. So save yourself some time throughout the week for dinner. Save yourself some money by prepping everything ahead of time. Beans are great. Your gut will thank you. Your risk of colon cancer will drop, and there you go. So this super easy meal prep brought to you by me, and thanks for holding me accountable. If you liked what you saw, smash that like button. Comments, questions, suggestions, drop those down below. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Ring the bell for notifications so you're the first to know when new videos go live. Adventurers, as always, take care of yourselves, do something nice for someone else, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.